Championship Monday, Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel. Tonight's the night. It all comes down to this. Tennessee, Texas A&M. The series knotted at 1 apiece. Winner takes all tonight in the grand finale of the college baseball season. What's been a really fun college baseball season as we get into that tonight. So, who has the advantages? What's the pitching look like? Who steps up for Tennessee? What are the keys to victory? That's all things I'm going to discuss here and try to get it done as quick as possible. I won't record anything else today leading up to it. I will be live tonight immediately after the game, and hopefully we'll be celebrating a national championship tonight. If not, though, hopefully, we'll look back on it as still a good season regardless. But you know who I'm predicting on that one. I don't even have to tell you on that. I always predict Tennessee. But keys for me, let's look at the pitching first. Xander Sechrist, Justin Lampkin. That's going to be the matchup tonight. For Sechrist, ever since going back to that South Carolina game, the last regular season game, a share of the SEC championship was on the line. He pitched them through, won that game. Pitched against Vanderbilt in the SEC tournament. That game, if they won, which they did, they get to the SEC tournament championship game. He pitched game 3 of the regional against Southern Miss. Won that one to go to the Super Regional. Game 3 of the Super Regional against Evansville. Won that one to go to the College World Series. Pitched against Florida State last Wednesday to win that one to go to the championship series. Who else would it be tonight other than the guy who's pitched all of these, every game he's pitched over his last 5 starts have had implications of moving on to something bigger. We're here again tonight. I don't think there's another guy based on what he's been doing that you'd want at this point. I mean, yeah, sure, you can make the case for Beam for sure. And I would not be upset at all with him going tonight, obviously, but he threw yesterday and he pitched excellent. Really shame he was not able to get a result out of it. But at the same time, it's good that they come back late and he was not saddled with a loss based on basically one bad pitch that he threw. But getting into this matchup, Sechrist, talk about what he's been doing recently. And, his last couple outings have been some of his best. You look at Lampkin for A&M. He's thrown 8 innings here in the College World Series, both against Florida, 15 strikeouts. Both guys threw last Wednesday. So there's really, people are talking about, well, he's on short rest. Well, Sechrist is technically as well. Lampkin threw 70. I'm thinking Sechrist threw like 76 pitches. So there's not going to be much difference in that. The one difference is Sechrist had thrown June the 9th compared to June 19th. Lampkin had thrown, I think it was the 15th that he threw. So he has thrown twice in the College World Series. 3 innings against Florida the first time, 5 innings second time. He's been lights out. He's been excellent in both outings for them. They're confident with him. They have Stewart, who we saw in game 1, gave up a couple runs, but he still pitched pretty well. Tennessee saw him and Hoover as well and got 3 runs off of him also. He's rested from yesterday. I think you'll see him at some point. And then, of course, Aschenbach, the closer, he was warming yesterday. He'll be ready to go today as well. I think the key with facing him is you don't want to face him with them having to lead. He's the best closer in college baseball. I mean, the proof's in the pudding, what he done. He's an excellent reliever. I mean, he went 2 2/3 Saturday night with 7 strikeouts against Tennessee. I think we had 1 hit off of him. Other than that, there was really not many issues. He took care of business for them. So A&M is set up. Okay, now the good thing is Chris Cortez, we're not going to see him. I don't think we would see Prager as well. It's 2 guys who've given Tennessee trouble this weekend. Other than that, I think A&M's probably pretty good to go. On the other hand, with Tennessee, Sechrist, of course, will be good to go tonight. I think Cannell's good. If you need him, Snead should be good as well. Aaron Combs went, 75 pitches yesterday. I would think he's out for tonight, but he did tell Tony Vitello he's good to go. And but I would venture to say you ask any of these guys and they're going to be good to go tonight. That's just my opinion on it. I don't think you would see Beam unless it was just some – I would never say never in this situation, but I know last year, I think back to LSU with Paul Skeens, and they ended up – he was warming up in the last game, but they said they were going to try not to use him. And it could be similar tonight with Beam. I would not expect to see Beam, though. I think Causey will be available based on the way he's pitched the last couple times. I don't know. But there's that Causey that's been so good most of the year. So, I mean, he's available. I would not be surprised if Tennessee would go back to Dylan Loy if they needed to. Would they have the trust to go to Marcus Phillips? Phillips, it's not a question of his stuff. It's his control. His stuff's lights out. And especially when he's throwing that cutter, guys aren't going to hit that. They're just not. So I don't know. I think both teams line up pretty well. Now, as far as closer goes, I mean, I got to give the advantage to A&M on that one. Starting pitching, I think it's going to be – I would give Tennessee a slight edge just because Sechrist has been throwing these if games for the last few weeks. But I wouldn't sleep on Lampkin. They like his stuff. But one thing I like, though, it's a left-hander. Even though Texas A&M proved my philosophy wrong Saturday night, as their left-handers gave Tennessee a hard time. But Tennessee's been hitting left-handed pitching really well lately. And I still like that they're facing a left-hander to start tonight. So we'll see how that matchup goes. I almost think that matchup's a push with the pitching. I really do. As closer, I got to go A&M on that one. Starter, I would give the advantage Tennessee on Sechrist just because of he's been that go-to guy at the end of a series throughout the season. Lampkin's been kind of thrust into that role here recently. Middle relief, I don't know. A&M's got a good pen. They do, but they've got, some of their main guys are burned for tonight as well, which is good. Specifically, we don't have to see Cortez. I can't see him going back to him tonight after he threw most of the year yesterday, over 90 pitches. So, we'll see. That's a tough matchup either way. Which bats get rolling is going to be the key. Speaking of bats, the guys I expect to roll, I said it last night. Don't give up on Billy Amick. Tennessee brought him to Knoxville for a reason. They went hard after him in the transfer portal last year for a reason. Tonight, it's going to pay off. I really feel confident. Billy Amick is due. He is due. I think he'll come in with a chip on his shoulder tonight. That top three in the batting order. I think after yesterday, not the best of weekends for those guys so far. I expect those guys to come out tonight and come through on this. There's still not a top three I would want over these three in college baseball. Best top three in baseball, I think they prove it out tonight. Guys like Tears, I think he's due. He had a hit yesterday, but he's due. Who else do you want up than Dylan Dreiling in a pressure-packed situation? It's just clutch. He's come through so many times for this team. Inslee, he's done his job in the World Series. Curley, I thought, did a good job yesterday. Cannon Peebles at DH. 0 for 1 with the 1 strikeout, but the 3 walks. Very good eye for him. And then Cal Stark came through. Hey, here's my advice to everybody. Your opinions on players, save them until the game's over. All right? This is no hate. It's just so many people on social media and stuff trashing players in the game, only for a guy like Stark. Whatever your private text conversations or your private conversations, keep them private. Okay? We've all said the stuff in private that we don't want to put on message boards. I've said it too. Okay? I don't put stuff out there before a game's over. I'm not. I may do it on a text message or something. A lot of people had to retract some words yesterday on it. Let the game play out before we trash guys. All right? And we don't need to trash guys even at that point. We can call it like it is. They had a bad performance, but trashing guys and stuff, that's over the line a little bit. But anywho, I say that, and I gave Jonas Adu a pretty hard time after the Tennessee-Purdue game, and I don't regret it because he packed his bags and left town after that. A guy who I see quit on Tennessee. I don't have any regrets on that one. But anyhow, back to baseball. This thing's coming down to it tonight. This is what it's all about. Last time Tennessee played for a national championship on a Monday was in 1998. They beat Florida State and were victorious. Here in 2024, June the 24th of 2024, the 18th anniversary of Frank Rock and Mrs. Frank Rock. By the way, I expect this Tennessee Volunteers baseball team to persevere, improvise, adapt, overcome. Keys to victory for me tonight. Number one, your coaching staff. You've got to be at your best tonight. There's been some real peculiar decisions over this weekend, and I don't think Tony Vitello will tell you they've done their best job. He said it Saturday night. I need this coaching staff on their game tonight. If a guy's getting lit up, get him out. Don't set him, prolong it. Don't set and hope they can work through it if it's out of hand. Get them out quick if it's not working. I'm sure they have a plan for tonight as well. Play smart baseball. Pulling the bunt off with Cal Stark yesterday with the pitch to give was bad. That was a terrible decision. And they got what they, it happened. It was a bad decision. He still had a bunt to get down. And I'm pretty sure the pitch he hit would have been a ball four anyway. So just a really bad decision by that staff. And especially had he walked, you'd had the bases loaded, top of the order with just one out. I would have liked the chances to go out in that set with the lead. We got to make better decisions with that, especially when a guy's over the series at that point. We got to be smart. We can't let our love for a player overtake winning the World Series. I'm sure he loves them all. We all love the players. All right. You got to make the decision that wins you the baseball game, though. All right. That's what you got to do. Got to take that out of it. Got to take that out of it. Defense. Defense was clean yesterday. We need clean defense again today. The team self-destructed Saturday night. Again, give Texas A&M credit. They took care of business. I'm not taking anything away from them. But I'd be sitting here lying and say that Tennessee team did not kill themselves. They have struck out in 2 games 29 times. We got to get that under 10 today. Got to get that down. The left on base, we've been at, 22 through 2 games? That's not going to get it done. Fortunate to get out yesterday's game. Credit Drew Beam, Aaron Combs for that victory yesterday. Of course, Snead did his job to end it. Got a little interesting, say the least. And Cannell, of course, come in, did not record the out, which he's normally good for that in that situation. But, give these guys credit. That pitching won that game. Dowling, big hit. Cal Stark, big hit. Those were the differences yesterday. Play clean baseball today. We just make the plays that are hit to you. Make those plays. Take the time and make your throws. I trust our outfield. I think our guys in the outfield, we know they'll run through a wall to win this national championship. We know they will. They will make the plays. These guys aren't afraid to throw somebody out that are out there tonight. Dowling, Inslee, Tears. They're not going to be afraid to gun someone. We had a big blunder with that Saturday night. Play your game in defense. Okay? This is not the best defensive team in the nation, but they've looked pretty good at times. I would say they're an average defensive team. They've had a couple outings here in the College World Series that let's hopefully they got it out of their system. Game 1 against Florida State and then game 1 of the championship series against A&M. Let's hope they got both of those out of their system now. And then at the plate, I want to see them more aggressive. I want to see this team be more aggressive. I've seen too many first pitch, beautiful strikes be watched. I get trying to work the count, work the pitch count and stuff. I want to see a little more aggression, though, in those first pitch hangers that are there for them. They've watched too many of them through 2 games. 29 strikeouts. A lot of that, to me, is getting behind the count and watching excellent first pitch and then swinging at crap. Got to be more disciplined, have better eye discipline than that. Those are my keys to victory tonight. Better coaching, clean defense, better discipline to play, and, of course, your pitching. Do your job tonight. Do what you've been doing tonight. And, that's going to be up to Frank and that staff to manage it right, because it's, you got some guys not available or guys that are running on fumes, we could say a little bit. So Tennessee's got to manage some bullpen tonight just the same as Texas A&M does. That's my keys to victory. You do these things, you win a national championship tonight. Now, is that asking much? Oh, no, not. No, that's asking quite a bit against, these are your best 2 teams in college baseball. They have been throughout the season. It's coming down to this tonight. What kind of game would be? I don't know. It could go down to the wire. I could see one team kind of getting hot and leaving the other one. There's a lot of ways this one could go tonight. Part of me says it won't be a nail biter at the end, but we'll see. We'll see where it is. I'll be live tonight with you around 11 o'clock. Hopefully, we're celebrating that national title. In the meantime, on this Championship Monday, I hope you have a great day. Last but most certainly not least, go Vols.